Good morning and welcome to our Mind the Moments Tuesday morning session brought to you by Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare and Tufts Health Plan. This is a place where we invite experienced mindfulness instructors to speak with us about what mindfulness means to them and to discuss as a community how we can incorporate these practices into our daily lives. I'm Suzanne Rowe Palacino, and I am absolutely and thoroughly delighted to have Greg Topakian here, who has not graced our presence in a very long time, and we're going to make sure that doesn't happen again, because it's been a long time since we've seen you here, and we're so happy to have you. So good morning, Greg.
Well, thank you, Suzanne, and nice to be here with all of you others. Although I can't see you, I feel you. Nice to have this opportunity to practice together, and nice to have this chance to experiment with how mindfulness can help us live our lives.
Most definitely. So it's so helpful to have the whole community here supporting one another as we learn and practice. So we're really happy to have everybody here today. For anyone new, welcome to you. And just to explain how Tuesday mornings work, we'll start off with a question for the group that we'll type into the chat and share. Greg will share with us. And then we'll just have an opportunity to chat a little bit about the question. Then Greg will share some thoughts with us and then go right into a 12-minute meditation practice. That practice will be a combination of guidance as well as a little bit of silence sprinkled in there, so we can practice that mode of meditation. So if you go to the bottom of your Zoom screen, open up your chat, and let me make a little adjustment here so all can chat. Yes, go to the bottom of your screen, open up the chat, and then you clicked on the blue drop-down menu that says hosts and panelists. You can change that to everyone if you'd like. Then everyone will be able to see what you type into the chat. So what question do we want to share this morning with everyone, Greg?
So the question is, what can we put in our lives that make it more likely that joy will arise? We know we just can't simply flip a switch and say, I'm going to be joyful now. But what can we do so the context of our lives, the conditions of our lives, make it more likely that joy arises? Okay.
So as folks take in that question, it's interesting. As I was preparing to come on the webinar this morning, I had to get my dog out, and sometimes someone else gets the dog out depending on who's working from home. But I went outside just for that split second, and it was so beautiful, sunny and cool. I just think being outside, I can't do enough of it, being outside in the fresh air. So that's something that's helpful for me.
It's important to know, isn't it? I mean, sometimes we think, well, it's just random whether we're joyful. And again, it's not like we can just flip the switch. We can't force it, but we can put things around us that make it more likely, that are supportive of that being where the mind and heart goes.
How about you, Greg? What are your thoughts on this?
Well, it's taking time to slow down, and so not getting not getting stuck on the treadmill of life. Slow down, settle the mind down, and try to come back to the present moment, and to be open to whatever is there, and to be more in touch with what's important to me, what my values are, so I have a better chance of acting on them. That sort of integration is brings happiness. Yeah.
I love that, getting in touch with your values. I love that. I have a good friend who does that. She has anybody have this particular number that comes up on the clock that you have a connection with? Mine is 1234. Like when I see 1, 2, 3, 4, I have like,
Yeah.
sometimes people say that there's a lot to do with these numbers, but my friend connects with her intermission when she sees her particular number.
Yeah,
I
sure.
was like, I like that.
Well, it's beautiful. That's what we call embodied, right? So it's not just values way up here, abstract, but it's like when we actually live them a little bit more, it's like, okay, I'm doing it, it's not just a thought. It's uh, for
Yeah.
me, it really depends on how in touch I am, how awake I am in the moment. And that's where this practice comes in.
Yeah. Having that quiet time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of great things. Gratitude, travel, even if it's outside in the woods or by the sea. Yeah. Let go. I'd say let go. Yeah. Practice loving kindness towards others as well as myself, self-care. Yeah. Gratitude, the more joy I have. Get enough sleep. Make an effort to stay connected to family and friends that bring joy and to reach out. A Bach birthday bash.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, I'm reading them too. Oh yeah, organ music, beautiful.
Music. Wow. That sounds amazing. Being
Yeah,
more
good
present,
deed, beautiful. Yeah.
having bring playful energies, not to take yourself too seriously. Yeah, applying the gifts I've been given, creativity, curiosity, and the ability to love. Yeah, reminding ourselves to share our gifts. That's seek opportunities for joy, hobbies, going for walks, doing a good deed without anyone finding out. Yeah, lovely.
Yeah,
Lovely.
beautiful. Yeah, you got it. You got it, folks. Yeah.
Sometimes just these questions are, they such great reminders, like things that we, like you
Yeah.
say, take for granted or don't think about, or maybe
Yeah.
like Greg, what you said, sometimes don't have the quiet time to even think about and remind ourselves. So great question.
Should we start?
We shall.
Okay. So there's many things that the mindfulness path puts in front of us to help us to find joy. As most of you know, there are many focusing practices and present moment oriented practices. And then there's a whole family of practices aimed towards cultivating what I'll call positive mind states, or sometimes called divine contemplations. Uh, your practices around kindness or compassion, gratitude, patience, and so forth. And I thought we'd tap into one today. It's called sympathetic joy. And the whole idea of sympathetic joy is that for most of us, it's easy to experience joy when things go well for me, right? It's easy to feel joy around that. But here's the question. What about when things go well for someone else and they share that with us? What happens then? Do I feel joy or not? And being an ordinary human being, sometimes, depending on mood, it's possible to feel like, well, gee, why didn't I get that? Or will there be enough? Or a little envy or jealousy or competitiveness or shame about not accomplishing that myself. And so it's not about feeling guilt about those things, but what it is about is recognizing that we can work with that so that we have a different emotional response um, when hearing about the good fortune of another. And sometimes in this on this path, we call that empathic joy or sympathetic joy, and that is attempting to arouse, developing a new habit of actually feeling happy when those around us feel good fortune. Now think about that. Talk about win-win, right? So that's what this practice will be about. And the question is, how do we do that? And guess what? The way we do that is by understanding that there might be benefits from cultivating sympathetic joy, intending to cultivate sympathetic joy. And then guess what? Practicing sympathetic joy. It's just like exercise and practice for the body. The more we do something, the more that becomes natural for the body to walk or run in a certain way. Same thing with the mind. So we're going to practice cultivating sympathetic joy for the next 12 minutes. Okay.
Sounds good.
So I'll invite you first to come into a comfortable position for yourself. And to close your eyes, if you feel comfortable with that. To engage in what I call your setup. So checking in with the body, adjusting body posture. You can roll your shoulders, you can adjust the curvature of your spine, arching and de-arching your back. The whole idea is to help to find a posture for yourself, that's comfortable, and that will help the mind to settle down, help the body to settle down. So the spine is relatively straight. Crown of the head is flat or maybe tilted forward a little bit. Eyes are closed if you're comfortable with that, just to minimize external distraction. And just bringing attention to the body, sitting, breathing. Maybe you feel your hands resting on your lap. Maybe the palms are touching. Feeling yourself breathing. Feeling contact of your feet on the floor. And all we're doing is sitting and knowing that we're sitting. Breathing, knowing that we're breathing. Coming into the present moment. Our setup, preparing the mind. So we might first ask the question, what can we do to help sympathetic joy arise? And often what's suggested is that we take a moment to feel gratitude for all the good that we have in our life. Now, this might be easy for you, or if you're going through a tough time, it doesn't have to be anything grandiose. It can be as simple as appreciating that I'm healthy enough to be doing this right now. I'm healthy enough to be present, practicing mindfulness with other like-minded people. Or simply grateful that there's food in my refrigerator in the cupboards for me to have after practicing this morning, or if you've already eaten. Or there's heat in the house, hot water to take a shower. So even simple things. Appreciation of feeling healthy enough. Appreciation for people who care for you and for whom you care. Appreciation for, even if it seems like not enough, it really is the resources that we have. Those of us right now practicing together. Home, food. But just a minute or two to refresh that sense of appreciation. sense of wholeness, completion. That we have enough. And now with that as a foundation, we'll exercise the brain. We'll travel down those neural pathways that lead to sympathetic joy. And I'll suggest to you that first off, you pick a person for whom it's very easy for you to feel joy when things go well for them. Just to grease the wheel, so to speak, so we get used to it. Maybe it's your kids, maybe it's your partner, good friend. And with that person in mind, I'll offer some words that I use, and you can use them or edit them, however works best for you. How wonderful it is that things have turned out so well for you. I feel joy at your good fortune. May it continue. May it flourish. How wonderful it is that things have turned out so well for you. I feel joy for your good fortune. May it continue. May it flourish. And just to sit with how that resonates in the body and mind and heart. Maybe it seems natural to you to offer these wishes. Maybe it seems foreign and a little bit forced. It's okay, this is just an experiment. We're experimenting with cultivating a new habit of mind. So just to be open. And now to select another person. Someone else, someone maybe not so close. Someone you don't know well at all, a neighbor. And we'll experiment with cultivating sympathetic joy for their good fortune. How wonderful it is that things have turned out so well for you. I feel joy for your good fortune. May it continue. May it flourish. How wonderful it is that things have turned out so well for you. I feel joy for your good fortune. May it continue. May it flourish. And on your own, and now to imagine a whole circle of people standing around you. You're in the center. And there's all these people around you. Some you know very well, your dearest friends and family members. Some casual friends, some you barely know. Maybe even to take a chance, some people who push your buttons. They're all standing around you. And as you look around, turning your head, looking at each person, you offer to them and to yourself how wonderful it is that things have turned out so well for you, and you, and you. I feel joy for your good fortune. May it continue. May it flourish. And now imagine this. Imagine all of them wish the same for you. How wonderful it is that things have turned out so well for you. We take joy in your good fortune. May it continue. May it flourish. And in the last minute, just to practice this in your own silence. And I'll count backwards from 3. And when I get to 1, I'll invite you to reopen your eyes and come back to the group. 3, 2, 1.
Thank you so much, Greg.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
I've heard this taught so many different ways, and you just have such a relatable way, real way to share this lovely, lovely practice. So thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure. It's wonderful for me to get to say it out loud. It's just an opportunity for it to kind of play again in my mind and body and heart. And, you know, the more we practice it, the more it tends to come up. So it's not more complicated than that.
So true. It's, what we repeat, we remember,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I do agree, and I'd like to get other people's thoughts on this as we have some last few minutes here, how it resonated with folks. When you mention about whether, it's something that you can relate to or whether it's something that you can connect with right away. I feel the way you've explained it is just makes it very accessible. But I do agree, it's something that one has to practice to, when
Yeah.
it's not bad to practice to get.
Yeah. And again, there are some things like this practice, or sometimes kindness for the difficult person, or something like that, right? It's like, well, why would I be kind to the difficult person, And so it's an experiment. Okay, so how does it work if you attempt to do it? All right, it's just an experiment. This is your life. This is my life, your life. What's going to work, right? What's going to help you be more effective, more peaceful, more joyful, more able to act on your values and so forth. And so that's just what it is. It's an experiment. And if you think it has possibilities, well, practice.
Mhm. Yeah. Kristen's mentioned here that it's been very timely for her, that green with envy lately. Yeah. Just feeling like, you know,
Yeah,
that there's a lot of good fortune around you, but that it's not
yeah,
infiltrating your life right now. Like that can be difficult. That
yeah,
can be difficult.
yeah. And not to get down on ourselves for it. So it's not just to recognize that and to get self-critical. It's just to say, okay, this doesn't feel good when I turn to envy or I turn to jealousy, right? It's not serving me, not serving people around me. How can I work with it, right?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Um, Yeah, no, it's interesting that that traditional word from the traditional teachings of mudita. I looked that's from some of the traditional teachings, and looking it up, there was also a description of vicarious joy, which I really
Yes.
liked.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah,
imagining. Can you imagine someone else's joy just by seeing a
yeah, yeah,
postcard or
yeah,
a Christmas card from somebody that's
yeah, yeah.
traveled
Wow. And
someplace.
it just brings a smile. Imagine if you just, okay, how easy is that really? If that could be true for us.
Yeah, and any thoughts from anyone else in the group? I do feel like for certain circumstances, when you see a child,
Mhm.
seeing a butterfly, or
Yeah,
my
yeah,
dog
yeah,
running in the
yeah.
park with another dog, like
Mhm.
it can come up in so many easy ways. But
Absolutely. Yeah,
like what Kristen's mentioned, you
yeah,
know, other people and getting a promotion maybe that you were interested in,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it can be complicated.
It can become, that's where the rubber meets the road, right? And
Yeah.
again, not to get down on ourselves, but to say, okay, is this working for me? Is getting down on myself helping?
Hmm.
Well, probably not, right?
Right. Yeah. I feel like this was so helpful to me during COVID. I'm sure other people might have felt this when just things were really difficult. I would go on this, if people have looked at the Good News Network.
Mhm.
I don't know if you've ever gone on that website, but there was always something, and it might have even been a child or a dog, like all you needed to see was something good during
Yeah,
that time. So, but thank you, Greg. I know we're at 9 o'clock. Time flies when you're having fun, when you're
sure
being
does.
joyful.
Absolutely. But thank you very much for having me, and thank you all out there for showing up and practicing together. We all feel it when we come together like this.
For sure, for sure. Thank you so much, Greg, for bringing this lovely practice to us and for being here with us this morning. We're very grateful.
Back at you all.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see you soon. We'll be back here tomorrow morning for our Zoom meeting format, and looking forward to seeing you all, and hope to see you again much sooner than the last time frame that was in between your practice here with us. So hope to see you soon, Greg.
Absolutely.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.